here with staff in the kitchen, and we were wondering what's going on with the dietary department. We got letters to be laid off on Monday, and we were just wondering how comes there was no consideration given to the staff to be put input on this.
To be what?
To have input in it on what to do with the department. And we just want to know what's going on because nobody's telling us nothing except for the letters that we got.
Wasn't there a meeting on Monday?
All we discussed was the letter, that's it. Okay. Nothing else. We know nothing about the company that's coming in except by the name that's in the letter. That's it. We absolutely know nothing. And we just like to know what's going on.
Well, what's going on is that a company is coming in that can run that department for between $500,000 and $600,000 less per year than it's being run now. And I'm just going to finish this question, then I'll get to yours. And I would have assumed that you'd have more than, I thought that the meeting on Monday was to inform you of what was taking place, but layoffs will be made effective in February, but you'll all have an opportunity to apply for those jobs, and that's part of the agreement with them is that the folks that are working there get a first shot at those positions with the new company coming in. They are folks that manage food service in other governmental agencies, so they have a track record, and this was Mr. Schlegel's pick, that particular company, but we asked him to find ways to save $1 million because at Cedar Haven the subsidies are so large from the county that it's an impossible thing to sustain without taking drastic measures, and we realize this is a drastic measure, but we have nowhere to turn trying to close a large gap in our budget, and this pain inflicted upon you folks is understood that you'd feel that this is all on you, but it's actually, this is spread throughout our system. There are other departments that are going to be facing the same issues, but maybe not to the degree with the numbers in your department. But we are saving 14% of the budget that it costs to run by having this done, and it's you can't ask the taxpayer to subsidize to that extent. If the private market can fulfill the same quality of service for 14% less, over $500,000 a year, you can't ignore that. If it was 50,000 or 100, if it was a lower number, those are big numbers yet. But if it's $500,000 a year, that's something that we just had to, to take a hard look at. So that's the best I can tell you on the short answer. I was hoping that you would know more from that meeting. But okay, may I take another question? Go ahead.
Okay, my name is Heather, and I work in Dietary. And what I would like to know is how you can bring another company in and supposedly make all less this money, but you can't have the same company and break even. Like you guys, to me, what I'm seeing is you guys didn't even attempt to go in and help him. You didn't try to help at all. You just said, well, this is what you're supposed to do. If you can't do it, we're going to bring somebody else in. Why didn't you guys step in and instead of right before Christmas laying off 40-some people, go in and try to help him?
It's unfortunate that the budget starts in January, so that is right around Christmas. But also, we tried to give as much notice. We had to give the union notice of this action, and we tried to give it as far ahead. That's why we didn't even wait till today. Ordinarily, something like this could have waited till we are actually going to take the action, but we tried to give as much notice as possible beyond what the contract called for to notify your union, and that's that was part of the decision of the timing. Yes, Robert.
But the question, one of the main sticking points for me is why didn't you guys come to the staff? Because we've been giving them ideas, but nobody seemed to want to listen. We gave them ideas about part-time jobs, on what things could be cut that can be cut. Like, I'll use this as an instance. Tomorrow I have, it doesn't sound like much, but it adds up over a year's time. Tomorrow we're providing 25 meals to the military because they're volunteering for 3 hours tomorrow. Getting it from us.
Yes, and I apologize. We can't we can't walk through all those issues. That would have been something that should have been addressed at an earlier time, because it costs about $90,000 per resident to run Cedar Haven per year. So it's a $28 million budget. It's 31% of our entire $90 million budget. It's the, you know, it's a huge entity. And so to be able to, you know, to go to that large entity and ask for help, it made sense. That was, you know, you have to go where the largest, running a lot of overtime and so on was also part of the equation at Cedar Haven, as in a couple other departments. But I'm going to end there because everything is on the table. I think that has to be looked at. How else can you close budgets? You know,
You could be a little bit more savvy when it comes to your fiscal operations. You could instead of hurting 42 or so many people, you could ask all the people to maybe look at that health insurance a whole lot more, and look at the real world and see what's going on out there, and ask them to pay their fair share.
The question, mine's more like I don't mean any type of disrespect by it, but for just 1 second, could you three sitting up there put yourself in our shoes and to feel how it feels to go home every day knowing that at January 31st we no longer have jobs. Christmas is gonna suck because you guys are laying us off. But I want you guys to think about that, and I don't want to hear an answer because you can't say that you know how we feel because you guys are sitting up there and we're sitting back here. You guys are the ones who go home every night knowing you're going to have a roof over your head. Doesn't matter how long because you're in the county commissioner. We're the ones who are going to have to find jobs and are going to have to do what we need to do to make ends meet, to provide for our families. And to worry about our loved ones who depended on the health insurance that you are now taking from us.
this is definitely one of the most unpleasant parts of our job. Yes.
Down at Cedar Haven, there's a lot of incentives the employees get. Was that ever an option? I mean, we pay people to come to work. It's called a sick bonus. If they don't, I don't know, how is that? If they come to work for 3 months, they get $100. They come to work for 6 months, they get $200. With the uniform allowance, the physicals that they pay for, was any of that even thought of to try to save anything?
We asked Mr. Schlegel to close a $1 million gap in that area. So I don't know specifically what he looked at. I know overtime was a part of it, and he looked at departments that he felt because of maybe union contracts and so on, maybe that some of the benefits, I don't know. But that's what we asked him to do to try to save this budget year because we had no reserve going into to draw from. And we could not impose a tax increase on everyone in the county, including you folks. No, you've had for the last meeting.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any additions or deletions? Hearing none, all in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
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 So moved. All right, Treasurer Nguyen.
Morning. Excuse me. We had receipts on December the 4th and December the 5th of $457,689.99. That brings us to a total cash of $1,213,611.73. Our expenditures this week were $535,821.98. The undistributed tax claim is $11,802.04, leaving us a balance of $665,987.71. The Pliget rate is .03. Fulton is still at the .25 and Metro at .34.
Thank you. Seek the motion.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we accept Treasurer Nguyen's report. All in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
So moved. Thank you, sir.